Today on the table, I've got an Asus Strix 4GB OC model. I'll zoom in here. And this particular one is getting a teardown and some new thermal plate paste applied to it. And while I'm at it, I'm going to replace one of the ticking fans in it. So let's get this underway. To begin with, I'm going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. This one's a very small one. I believe it's 000 is its size. But you should be safe to go something a bit larger. Actually, those ones can be left behind. So we merely need to focus on the 4 primary ones around the chip. Just push the warranty void sticker in. Doesn't really matter. Going by the age of these cards. 2, 3, 4. And from there, you should just be able to separate it. As we can see, thermal paste is not looking that great. So replacing that will definitely yield a good improvement. So from here, disconnecting number 1 and number 2, which is a bit stubborn. So I'm just kind of wiggling it back, forward, back, forward. There we go. So I'm going to put that aside for now and focus on this. So I'm wanting to replace this fan, which is producing a fair bit of noise while it's going. So from here, push a tab in, and then from there it's managed to lift out. One cooler, fairly small. It seems to be bigger than the MSI equivalent, but smaller than the Gigabyte Aorus models. So from here, removing this fan, and we'll be installing this one, which, looking at it, I will not be able to do, disappointingly. Maybe with a bit of luck, considering it was originally from this side, which means it would have been the same length. I'm not too sure on the length of these ones, if they're longer or shorter. Here's one I prepared earlier. Disconnect that, lay it out, and we'll see. Over there. Maybe a fraction shorter. I'm going to try it anyway. As I mentioned about the warranty, build date on there, March 2017. So over 3 years old. Now in here, there is 4 screws to take out, and the 5th up the top. You may or may not have heard my daughter yelling out for some food just then. Considering we've only just finished lunch, doesn't surprise me. Here. So compared to the MSI and Gigabyte varieties of these cards, I do like it how this particular one has 4 mounting points for the fan, as opposed to just tri-points. In theory, that would mean lower vibration with the fan, or at least in theory. But lower vibration or better mounting points don't matter when you have play in the fan itself. Now time to do the reinstall process. So this part you can pretty much, if your fans are perfectly fine, all you'll have to do is do the thermal paste and you'll be right to go from there, which at the moment, while I'm running Doom, what's it getting? 103 FPS, around 70 degrees, the RPMs ran at 1,681 RPM, and that was running for around about 28 minutes when that happened. So I'm curious to see how well it will go after. I'm not expecting an increase in FPS, but I'm more expecting a decrease in fan RPM. So I'm expecting the thermals to remain the same, just for it to get cooler or get quieter and stay quieter. Bingo. Now, one thing that makes this handier compared to the Gigabyte model, which I've done quite a few fans on recently, is that just then when I lined it up, there's a slight groove for the fan to actually sit in, so the orientation is correct. So it saves you having to constantly try and spin it back into the correct position. So far, I find this a good middle ground to work on. The MSI was extremely simplistic, which I'm curious what the differences are behind the scenes with those cards compared to the Gigabyte ones, as there are a lot more chips on the Gigabyte. So yeah, don't know what's going on there. Considering performance and thermals were quite similar anyway. There we go, final screw. Bingo. Yeah. Not quite the sound I wanted to hear. Just got my camera. I'm in the note there. The card's sitting flat. I've got noise. Card standing up. Silent. And also probably when it's hanging straight down. So when it's in typical location in the case, it's sitting like this. Dead silent, perfectly fine. So it's better than what it was, but still not perfect. Now I'll plug this in. Get the orientation correct. Push, and we're in. And from there, this is where it's going to get a bit tricky. I need to get it out of the way. There. Not quite how smooth as I'd like it to be, as it's got that twist right here. But I think that should be sufficient to get back on the cooler. Now it's time to clear off that factory thermal paste. Just look at the high build on that. Anyway, I'll start by scraping it off. Just using some isopropyl alcohol. Currently becoming a rare material in the world. That should be sufficient. Now onto the main event. Bit too close up there. Let's reset these legs. There we go. Now the reason why I'm scraping it off is that there's quite a lot of it. If I did try to turn that into liquid, I'll be trying to soak it up for days. But it's just easier just to scrape it off with a plastic scraper. Well, this one's actually a battery pry tool from an iPhone, or for mobile phones. And I'll give it a quick brush with a toothbrush. See if I can remove it as well. Rightio, so I'm a bit happier with it now. I'm going to go some alcohol again. I'm going to brush around. There we go. Now I'm going to use some Z5, which I am nearly out of this stuff at the moment. We use a fair bit on here. Probably not quite as much as the factory, but still a very generous amount. Go. Now from here, it's a matter of reapplying everything, not reinstalling everything. One thing I do want to do though, since I have already, I've done with the screw. Actually, I'll just leave it. That can just stay. So now, it's time reinstall this. Now I'll need to get the orientation correct. That way. And this way. Might even try and go under the heat pipe here. There. I should just be able to push it down up the top. Installed. Definitely digging that toolless design right there. The dilemma I've had with the Gigabyte ones is there's 4 screws holding the shroud on. One connector. Then we'll go 2 connector. Whatever it wants to fit. Sorry for the riveting footage of my hand. This is being extremely stubborn. Bingo. Got it. It's a matter of lining up the CPU, the cooler holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bingo. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Dawn. Now if all goes well, these connectors down here shouldn't be intruding on the fan. So I'm not sounding good that way. We are sounding good that way and upside down. So from here, this will be getting reinstalled, and I'm going to be rechecking the thermals and various other things down here, and hopefully have a relatively good graphics card ready to game from there. So anyway, that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.